Hello, mindful friends. Today we are going to be talking about building a sustainable foundation that can carry us through hard times. So last week we talked a little bit about what we do when things fall apart and how we have courage in those times. And this time we're looking into when things fall apart, how they can be a brilliant opportunity to rebuild and to rebuild upon a foundation that is more sustainable and that can really carry us through all of the hard times. So as it's falling apart and we're seeing that what we had built our foundation upon is crumbling, there's doubt, there's loss, it's gone. What we put our hope into, our idea of happiness into, our support into, maybe it's crumbling around us, which we all know this happens in our lives. When we lose our health, when the state of our world, as it's happening right now, is kind of coming apart. It's very unstable. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of fear. And what we created our reality upon, of what keeps us safe, of what keeps us happy, of what keeps us well, what keeps us connected to the world around us, when it's kind of coming apart at the seams and it's like nothing is quite like it was before, it's new to us, it's unknown, it's giving us an opportunity to ask, what were you building that foundation upon? What were you holding on to that said, these are the conditions of life that I need to be well, to be happy, to be safe and healthy? And if you're noticing that these are, like all things, impermanent, and they are now under threat, or they're changing or altering, and it's completely destabilizing you and throwing you for a huge loop, that's when you ask, was that foundation I was building upon really that true and sustainable? And those are the questions. And normally, if it's something that's throwing you for a huge loop, we weren't really upon a foundation that's actually true and genuine. For example, I build foundations often of happiness, of relationship, of connection on what I'm able to do physically. We live in Colorado, and a lot of our activities, a lot of our connection, a lot of our relationship, a lot of our entertainment and happiness comes from what your body can do out in nature, out in the mountains. And we start depending on it, right? So like, I have a hard week at work. What's going to give me that therapy and that happiness? Going out and playing hard in the mountains. I need some connection, right? So I want to go connect with friends. How am I going to do it? I'm going to go skiing with them, or I'm going to invite them on a backcountry trip or hiking. So I'm building my foundation of what keeps me well based on what my body can do. Many times in my life, including right now, my body can't sustain, right? So I just recently tore my ACL in a ski accident and have to go into surgery. It's a 9-month full recovery. If I was building my foundation solely on what my body is able to do, things crumble in my life. And this has happened to me before. I had a ruptured disc in my back and nerve damage down my left leg. 3 years, I was not able to really play hard in the mountains. At that point in my life, I'd not constructed happiness out of anything other than what my body's able to do. Can I play outside? Can I ski? Can I mountain bike? When that fell apart, my well-being fell apart. And so when that happens, we ask ourselves, what was your foundation? And this time, yes, it creeps back in and we build our foundation on something impermanent. No matter what, I don't care if you get injured or you're just aging, whatever it is, what your body is able to do is not a permanent state of being. So if you build your happiness just upon that, disappointment will arise constantly. So as I move into this surgery and this healing, I ask myself, it's giving me an opportunity again to ask, what built my foundation? And this time, because I've been through this many times before, I've had many injuries, many illnesses, each time that it's happened in my life, I've had to rebuild and I've had to build a new foundation. And yes, sometimes they get weak, and yes, it's still hard. But if I know that my true foundation lies in what I'm sharing with the world, what I'm developing internally, spiritually, in the soul, in the heart, if it lies in what I'm creating energetically for the world and who I can be, right, more in a kind of spiritual, energetic level, I can make it through hard times carrying that foundation with me. So kind of being supported by that foundation. And every time that things fall apart in your world, they're pointing to something you were building your foundation upon that's flimsy. Right? We do it all the time. Like even addictions, right? You're building your happiness and your well-being on a substance, offering it to you. And then it starts tearing your life apart and you gotta rebuild. What was I putting my foundation in? What was I putting my happiness in? This is not healthily sustainable. Same thing in big scale, right? Huge right now. Going into very uncertain times, not understanding what's happening in our world, why it's happening, how can this be happening? What were we building our foundation on? And if we're afraid of losing power in the world, or if we're afraid of losing our money, our material things, was that a sustainable, true foundation to build upon? Right? So even through this, it's like, what do you want to build in this? What new foundation does our kind of world want to have, our community, our country? Do you want to build on peace? Do you want to build on compassion and love? Do you want to offer help in times like this? Help that's truly peaceful help, loving help. Do you want to rebuild on something that's of the heart to feed that in times like this? Or do you want to continue down the path of power gets us there, violence gets us there, aggression gets us there? So these times of uncertainty ask you to look. What are you building your foundation on? So this week I ask you, look into your own life, and whether the uncertainty feels bigger for you, on a global scale of what's happening in the world, then ask the question, what is my country building its values on? Is it on how much we can get, on our status, on our money, on us being more powerful, on us getting ahead? Or is it on peace, on love, on forgiveness, on compassion, on giving, gratitude, offering, right? And or whether in your life it's something very personal to you right now, like me and my injury. If things are falling apart, ask yourself, what was I building my foundation on? And now, if I build it on something different, can I carry that even through this hard time? And these are the things, these foundations stay with you no matter what of the other impermanent things in life go away. Your job, your money, your relationship, your health, your body, right? And sometimes, we got people with Alzheimer's, lots of that present in my life right now. Your mind, your parents. When all of that falls away, what's your true foundation? What truly gives you purpose and meaning in your life? What's truly your big why? And that is the gift of these uncertain times. That is the gift of what happens when things fall apart. So look at your foundation this week. What is really sustaining you? What's really giving you meaning in life, keeping you moving forward, keeping you focused on the good? What is it for you? If you enjoy these little talks and would like to join a group session or individual coaching, please visit us at newleafmindfulness.com. And don't forget to share these with others who might appreciate them, and go ahead and like. I hope to see you all very soon.